So thanks so much for having me. This afternoon, I'll tell you a little bit about our journey we have taken so far. 2 years ago, we were on stage, and we were also demoing our tech in the open space. It was still in a prototype stage back then. Now it's a commercially available product, so we have gone far with it. Yeah, I want to take you on a little journey and also share a little bit about what the Motoverse means to us, so the metaverse and cars, and bringing cars to the metaverse. So when we started our journey, we defined a very, very clear purpose for our company: making transit time count. Because for many passengers, transit time feels like wasted time. People all around the globe spend more than 400 billion hours in cars every year. And every day, there are more than 1.5 billion trips around the globe with passengers on board. So, and for many of those, as I said, it feels like wasted time. I don't know who of you suffers from motion sickness in cars when consuming visual content, reading a book, texting, watching a video. Maybe you can raise your hand. Okay, it's almost statistically valid. So 1/3 of all people suffer from severe motion sickness when consuming visual content in cars. So that means they take out their phone, they look at the screen, and immediately they feel dizzy. 1/3 of all passengers has these symptoms like after 10 to 15 minutes, so sweaty hands, not very comfortable, and 1/3 is fine. But compared to audio, this is quite limiting. And we wanted to develop something that changes this paradigm and turns the car into an exciting space for visual content and visual experiences. And the theme we had in mind very early was, let's turn every car into a moving theme park. Let's make use of the fact that we are traveling from A to B, the car is in motion, you pass by specific locations. How can we incorporate all this for experiences? And what we have developed over the course of the last few years is basically the world's first platform for motion and location-aware content. So what we do is we take car data in real time, acceleration, braking, steering angle, wheel ticks, navigation route, and incorporate this into experiences in the first step on virtual reality headsets. Why did we start with virtual reality? Because we always wanted to develop a consumer product, and in terms of wearables, XR headsets, VR was the first technology that was accessible or is accessible for consumers. AR, mixed reality, is now also coming, but we started with virtual reality. And this combination of physical reality and digital reality, creating a new experience, we then coined the Motoverse, so bringing the metaverse to cars and vice versa. Really have this combination of motion, location, and content in sync to turn the car as one of the worst places for visual content into one of the best places for visual content. And what I'd like to share today with you is like 3 pillars or 3 paradigms we see that define the Motoverse. First is the spatial awareness I already talked about. Second is also the philosophy of bring your own device to the car. Because if you look at most of the cars on display here, they get more and more displays. Screens are getting bigger, you see a larger variety of it. But the automotive industry rarely keeps pace with consumer electronics. So the day the car gets shipped, it sometimes feels outdated compared to what you have as a tablet, as a wearable, as a TV at home. So consumer electronics iterates way faster. And the second aspect of it is we switch cars more often, maybe in the future. So due to subscription models, ride-hailing, etc. So we don't stick as long with one car as we used in the past. However, personal devices stay with us 24/7. There is a statistic that people have their smartphone not further away than 1 meter 24/7. And it will be even more intense if you have wearables. They stay with you all the time. The transportation mode, you might switch more often. So our philosophy was, instead of squeezing content into the center screens of the car and into the infotainment system, why not take the other direction, extending the car to the personal device and create the experience inside the vehicle on the personal device. And the third one is, we briefly talked about this with Laura in our talk earlier, is digital assets. Because what we've discovered for the future generation, Gen Z, and also Generation Alpha, so future customers and today's backseat passengers, they grow up metaverse native, and very often for them, the digital item has more relevance than physical items in their life. So you already see a shift there. And we said, hey, spatial awareness, bring your own device, and the focus on digital assets, this is something that, from our perspective, creates the motiverse. If you look at the infotainment space, it hasn't changed much the last decade. And reality sometimes even looks less glossy than in most brochures. Sometimes it does. It's pretty impressive. You suddenly get large screens in a car, 31 inches, almost 1 meter in diameter. But it's one vehicle, and it's pricey. So what if, with virtual reality or virtual devices, extended reality, you could simply bring a cinematic screen of a size of up to 6 meters in diameter to your personal car? And I'd like to show you a quick video what we have been developing and have launched here at IAA on Tuesday. So on your personal device, you can get your personal cinema experience in the car, and maybe some of you already think about, aren't people getting motion sick? And balancing out the motion of the car, so having in the environment, besides the screen, the motion of the car reflected, so in your peripheral view, brings down motion sickness. It doesn't cure it, so I sorry to say, maybe the ones that raise the hands still will experience it, but it significantly brings down motion sickness. And on your personal device, you suddenly can have the biggest in-car screen. So what we have been developing in more detail is, you see the surrounding, it matches exactly the speed of the car, the motion of the car, and we have developed a spatial menu where you can select content. It's live for Germany and Austria in collaboration with Maxdome that provide the library of the experiences. But you can customize the whole experience. You can adjust the screen size, so to your comfort, what feels best to you. Then depending on your seating position, you can also adjust the height, so what feels more comfortable for you. Some people prefer flat screens, other curved, so you can adjust this as well. Or, depending on what your preferences are in terms of surrounding, initially we offer different themed surroundings you can travel to, but of course in future you could also imagine that there are environments that are matching the content you're seeing, so it's becoming even more immersive. And Of course, customization in general is a big topic, so also offering options how to change colors, brightness and darkness and contrast of the surrounding. All this is possible for your personal preferences. And you can already experience this today in selected Audi vehicles that were produced as of summer last year. But at CES earlier this year, we also presented a little device, our HoloRide Retrofit, that you can plug into any car. So imagine a family drives a Volkswagen Touran that is maybe 15 years old. They can buy this device and offer these experiences to their family. And the way you can set it up on our platform is you simply sign up, then you have a family setting. You might know this from other digital platforms. Up to 10 users you can create with your account. It's very important because age restrictions with content is important, so the parent needs to manage this for their kids. And also cost control, because of course you buy or rent the movies. Parents can buy credits and assign them to their kids so that they can spend them on the platform, but they always have cost control. And one of the last features, because many people on average travel 22 minutes globally, but there is this road trip to Grandma that lasts like 4 hours, but sometimes the trip simply isn't long enough to finish a full movie, so there's also the option to switch into a stationary mode, and while the car is charging or when you're back at home, you can, of course, continue your movie experience. And if you want to try it, and maybe we want to ride together into the Motoverse, you can sign up on this link. In the open space, we are collaborating with Smart, so you can ride the Smart #1 and try the movie experience and all the games we're shipping. At the Volkswagen Group here at the summit, there is a stationary experience of the movie experience in an Audi Q8. And at Audi, you can also drive the Audi Q8 and experience it there, also at the open space. So we have 3 different locations where you can try it if you're interested. And with this said, let's ride into the Motoverse. Thank you very much.